This is Fujian province, a rugged terrain guarded by sheer granite mountains, which have helped to forge and preserve some of China's most ancient sites and traditional cultures. Towering above the coast, the 1,400-meter-high Tai Miao Mountains are known to the Chinese as fairyland on the sea. Moist sea breezes condense on the cool mountain tops and combine with well-drained acid soils to produce the perfect growing conditions for acid-loving plants like wild azaleas. It's also home to camellias, including the most famous of all, the tea plant. Similar growing conditions all along the Fujian coast make this the treasure chest for China's tea, the heart of an industry dating back almost 4,000 years. One of the most traditional tea-growing cultures in the area is that of the Fujian people. Every morning, goats are let loose among the tea terraces, a centuries-old tradition. This might seem surprising given goats' reputation for eating anything green. But tea isn't as defenseless as it looks. Tea leaves are loaded with bitter chemicals designed to repel browsing animals. It works on the goats, who leave the tea untouched and instead eat up the weeds, fertilizing the tea plants with their droppings. The surprise is that we humans should find the same bitter chemical cocktail utterly irresistible. Among the Fujian people, tea growing is a family business. Women do the picking, while the men process and pack it. Mrs. Jung belongs to a Fujian family that has lived and worked for generations among these same tea terraces. The finest tea needs to be gathered quickly in warm sunshine, as this brings out the flavor-enhancing oils inside the leaves. This sustainable industry has protected one of China's finest landscapes and one of its most traditional cultures. At the end of the morning's picking, Mrs. Jung returns home to drop off her tea, ready for processing. This fort-like design has survived from a time when the Fujian needed to protect themselves against hostile local tribes. Each house has 3 or 4 levels, designed to accommodate 50 to 250 people. The ground floor houses the kitchens and animal stock, with access to a well for water. The first floor rooms are used for storage, and the upper floors are bedrooms. Some of these remarkable buildings are 800 years old and have survived earthquakes and typhoons. Once enough tea has been gathered in, the processing begins. Turning green leaves into saleable tea involves at least 8 different stages, including drying, bruising, sifting, squeezing and twisting, before the finished product is finally ready for packing. The Shung's village produces little black dragon, or Oolong tea, so called because of the way its twisted leaves unfurl when water is poured over them. Tea plays a vital part in Fujian life, not only as a source of income, but also as a way to welcome visitors and bring people together. In traditional Chinese life, even the simplest cup of tea is poured with an intricate amount of ritual.